Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as Screen Speak, and in today's video, this is my Dune Prophecy review. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alright, a little bit of housekeeping before we start. I do have a little bit of a cold, but it doesn't stop me from making this video. And I'm feeling better than I did last night. But this is going to be a little bit of a shorter review. I still wanted to make this for you because there's some stuff out right now. Oh my gosh, Shrinking is ending too. I'm going to have to make a video for that. Anyway, that'll be good. So, this show, it's kind of like, I'm sitting here like, I watched the finale last night. I was like, this is a fine show, but I really recommend it. There's one show out there that I want to binge from beginning to end, and that's Game of Thrones, because that's a show that is wildly loved, except for the last season. But it's I love House of the Dragon, the 2 seasons they put out so far, and I feel like this is trying to be HBO's version of, well, Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon are both on HBO, but I mean like HBO's version of Dune, or a show of Dune that's very similar to Game of Thrones, but yet in the Dune world, where in Arrakis, where the Harkonnens and what are they called? Harkonnens and oh my gosh, the A name is like they're fighting. And there's sandworms. The sandworms look very cool. The like reverberating effect looks very cool. But to me, the story, I thought some of it was really neat. It's so hard for me to go in depth because there's a lot of, like Game of Thrones, this show has like evil. One of the things I think works really well is the story here, and Mark Strong kills it. But then he's gone, and I'm like, that was like your main selling point of the show, and not really, but he was a great actor, and you it's kind of like that. This wasn't completely awful like The Acolyte was, but I felt like the movies are far superior. This, I had it. Like there was, it felt like too much like Game of Thrones. Like, not that I can't have like making out in a show. Like, okay, you're good, and Game of Thrones does it well. But I thought they did too much. Like, there's like good and bad. One of the things that there's good and bad. Like, I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to root for. But it was so much like, all right, there's Mother Superior. The thing I thought was real interesting was the young girl who, you know, in Chani, who's Zendaya's character in Dune Part 2, in Dune 1, and then Dune Part 2 more so, her character's more prominent. Has those blue eyes, and there's this young girl, like 10, 13 years old, I'm going to say 13 or 15 years old, young girl, and a teenager, and she has these blue eyes, and she has the mind, the consciousness of this old woman, one of her mentors that died, girl that got killed with the little blade, and woman that got killed with the little blade, and it's like, cool. I love that acting of her. It felt like Paul Atreides acting, like hold up the knife and join me, whatever, right? All that's really good. All the moments when the sisters have been taken over, like fight me, like drop the blade and yelling, really good. But everything else felt so far like, all right, now we have to talk. It was good dialogue, but everything felt like, all right, now we have to do this with our plan. Alright, now take the spice. Now what's happening? Oh, Mother Superior said this. And I'm like, half the time I'm like, am I supposed to be rooting for you? Sometimes I felt bored. I don't know. It's just like, when I'm watching Game of Thrones, I'm intrigued by the dialogue. I'm intrigued by the story because it feels tense. Sometimes in this story, there was some tense moments, but I didn't know who I was supposed to be rooting for, so I'm like, cool. So that happened, I guess. It's just a very odd structured show. There's 6 episodes, so Acolyte was way worse because they didn't know how to do flashbacks. I don't even know. I think Acolyte was 6 episodes. Maybe it was longer. I felt like a trek to get through Acolyte. It didn't feel it didn't feel like a trek to get through Dune Prophecy. Again, Dune Prophecy was a good show. I liked the time it came out of, like out of the year, because it felt like, Penguin just came out. I love Penguin a lot more, but Dune Prophecy isn't a show I'm gonna be preaching. And that's a shame. I haven't seen the original Dune back in like the 1984 when it came out. You know how I remember that? It's because I remember that there was Ghostbusters back in 1984. That's how I remember that. But anyway, I haven't watched that one. I watched the two current Dune movies. I would assume to everyone that's seen the original 1984 Dune that this is better than that. But again, I feel like it's a good book. I know there's a book about this show, I'm pretty sure, because Brian Herbert wrote the book. He did books after Frank Herbert did books 1, 2, and 3. Then his son Brian Herbert did 4, 5, and 6. So I'm excited for the next movie, Dune Messiah. Really, I am. I'm excited to see the next part in it. But I was left at the end of this series like, cool stuff happened. Spoiler, I'm not using notes. Some of the characters like I get. The sisters are really cool. The bearded guy was cool. I forget his name. Half the time I forget the names. Mark Strong was cool. Like the Emperor, I think he was the Emperor. Mother Superior was cool. But the problem was, I felt like the poster was the main selling point was you got Mark Strong, great actor. Mother Superior, who was like the main selling point woman for this. Halftime, I kept forgetting her actress name. I kept forgetting her character name. Other characters. I think the girl that was possessed or taken over was Lily or Alana something. Some A-L, I don't know. Name. And, Atalan. No, Atalan was something else. Anyway, and so the Mother Superior, I'm like, I felt like they were selling the show off of her big role, and I feel like sometimes she gets so sidelined. That's the thing with this show, House of the Dragon, and I'm assuming, because I haven't watched all of Game of Thrones, but there's characters that are useful to the story. It felt like this show was just like, all right, now let's have a scene with this character. Now let's have a scene with this character. Now let's have a, and I'm like, but I want to know more about her, and I'm like, The sisters were cool. It felt like they'd used these women better than Star Wars Acolyte did, but I'm like, cool. I don't know. It's like there's a couple shows, like, I want to take a brief side note here, but this didn't feel like they promoted the show very well. And speaking of that, Marvel's What If Season 3 is out right now. Current episode 2 just aired today, the day I'm recording this video, and I felt like they barely promoted the show. Like, I'm enjoying this season of What If, but they haven't promoted anything for this season, like one trailer, and I'm like, well, that's not getting people on board for this season. Like, I'm enjoying it, but that's because I'm a Marvel fan and I know that they put it out, but like people in the nationwide, worldwide streaming, they're like, I'm sure other people are watching it besides me, but my point is, if you want to get Marvel superhero geared geeky people into that watching your show, they're probably not, because you didn't promote it. Kind of like this, Dune, I don't think, like, I told my couple friends that, like, the friends I went and saw Dune 2, like, hey, this show's out, I'd recommend it if you like Dune, but if you're someone that hasn't watched anything Dune related, don't watch this show. Like, it's not gonna make you enjoy. I mean, you might go, oh, I want to watch the movies, but you're not gonna, like, think the show's, like, amazing. And I certainly didn't either. I'm not, like, upset, I don't have hatred towards this show, but I think it's so far in between. It's not like great like Invincible. It's not as bad as Acolyte, but it's just right there in the middle. So I'm going to save you time. I'm not going to dwindle on and be a broken record. I just think this is a 7 out of 10. Doesn't mean I think it's awful. So 7 out of 10, oh, it's not trash. Just in the middle of bad. Just in the middle of good and bad. 7 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 6, but a 7's right there for me. So, yeah, it's not awful. If someone said, hey, what's Dune Prophecy like, let's watch it, I'd go, sure, but it's not one I would watch again. Penguin is phenomenal, but it's not Penguin, so I'm sorry. But you might feel differently. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is there something? Did you like this series? And don't get me wrong, I don't think that after this show I'm saying, Dune's a played franchise. It's over. It's doomed. The next movie's doomed to fail. No, 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 no. Dune Messiah has room. Because it's Denis Villeneuve doing it. I really wish that Denis Villeneuve had some foresight, had some say in this series, but it is what it is. Anyway, at least I'm glad the sandworms are there, because every time they pop on the screen, I go, oh wait, that's from Dune. Sorry, I was thinking of Beetlejuice when the sandworms popped on, and Beetlejuice go, dun, 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 We need the Dune and Beetlejuice crossover. That's what we need. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like. If you did enjoy, tell me what you thought of the review and the show in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me over at Facebook as of now. It's my name. Just type in screen speak. You can type in screen speak and see what comes up. I don't actually know what happens. Type in my name, Spencer Herring. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me, and as always, don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.